Tim Bauer here from LiveVideoGuitarLessons.com with the practice tip of the day. This one is for the advanced player, and today I want to continue our discussion on tapping some specific chords. Today I want to work with minor 7 chords. I'm going to work with B minor 7 today, and it looks a little something like this. And we'll talk about the theory and why we're doing this in a second. So it looks a little like this. So we get in there, and let me find my notes here real quick, and right here some of them. So let's talk about what's going on there. The reason we're talking about minor 7th chords is because this series is we've been talking about tapping tonic chords. So if we were in the key of B minor, B minor 7 is a substitute. It's just a bigger B minor chord. And so if I'm playing in the key of B minor, instead of just tapping a straight B minor chord, which would be a B note, a D note, and an F sharp note, I can tap the 3 of the notes of a B minor 7 chord. B minor 7 chord has the added flatted 7th note of the B scale, which is an A. So what I'm doing, since I'm tapping 3 notes at a time, and I don't want to try to figure out, I guess I could try to figure out a way to get all 4 notes in there, but it's kind of a long reach, and I hadn't really thought much about that. I was looking for the 3. So what I'm doing, I'm dropping the 5th. I'm keeping the tonic note, the root note, B, and I'm keeping the 3rd in there, the flatted 3rd, because that's what's making it minor. Dropping the F sharp 5th, and I'm inserting the A note as the flatted 7th, and that makes it a B minor 7 chord minus the 5th. So, and just real quick theory, all your major chords are 1, 3, and 5 of the 1st, 3rd, and 5th notes of the scale of your root note, your major scale of your root note, and your minor chords are 1, 3, and 5. I'm sorry, 1 flat, 3, and 5 of the major scale of your root note. Sorry, that's hard to explain. So anyway, that's how you end up. The first note of a B, talking about B minor and trying to find the notes. First note of a B scale is B. The flatted 3rd note is, the 3rd note is D sharp. Flatten that down to D. The 5th note is F sharp, and the dominant 7th note, which is the flatted 7th, is the A note. And the reason we're using, we'll go into this in another video, there are 2 types of 7ths. There's a dominant 7th, so when you're playing an A7 chord, you know, or C7 or something like that, it's really dominant 7th. You just don't write dominant on there. And what that means is the flatted 7th. When you see a major 7th chord, like A major 7, D major 7, that's the actual 7th note of that scale. And we'll cover that in another video. So anyway, so we're working with B, D, and A. So I was just looking for different places to play B, D, and A on my guitar here. So, and trying to get different sounds, you know, of variety. So what I was doing on the 1st string, I was playing my A over here in the little volume there, in the 17th fret. Playing my D down here in the 10th fret, and playing my B down here in the 7th fret. So when I went to the 2nd string, by the way, as you change strings, you're kind of changing the order too, so it changes the sound a little bit. So on the 2nd string, I played my D note here in the 15th fret, and then I played my B note in the 12th fret, and my A note in the 10th fret. For this one, for the 3rd string, I went way down here, so I played my A, the dominant 7th note, in the 14th fret on the 3rd string. And I played my D in the 7th fret, and I played my B in the 4th fret. And usually I just use those 3 strings to tap, but we should just go ahead and talk about the rest of them, and I should probably put it on my list of stuff to do to, you know, maybe force myself to do more tapping on the other strings. Alright, so let's bear with me while I find the notes here, because I don't usually use these. Alright, so on the D string, I think I'm going to start with my D note in the 12th fret. And then I'm going to play my B note here in the 9th fret, and then my A note here in the 7th fret. So, okay, on the 5th string, I think maybe I'll play my A note in the 12th fret and do another long stretch. Play my D note here in the 5th fret, and my B note back here in the 2nd fret. So, and on the 6th string, and by the way, I'm trying to put these in different positions because you can end up with the exact same sound if you change directions in the wrong way. So you don't want the same 3 notes in the same order. So let's see, on the 6th string, let's see, let's play our D here. That's our minor note. And let's play our B here, and then my A here. Is that what I just did on the other? No. So yeah, as I move to adjacent strings, I want to make sure I'm not playing the same notes. You know? So anyway, just kind of turn some music on when you do that. Make sure you're playing along in a minor key and put it in the right key. And just kind of mess around with that. You know, just turn the music on, and when the music changes chords, you don't have to change chords. That's the whole point of doing that. Well, not the whole point, but that's when you're playing these when you're tapping the tonic chords, or a substitute for the tonic chord like we just did. As the chords in the song change, you don't have to change. The notes in the tonic chord belong. I have to sit down and write out whether they belong in the key. So the notes, I was thinking about whether the notes belong in all those other chords, and I had to write it all out. I hadn't really thought about that. They may or may not, but they belong in the key. You're playing that, so when you're playing a different chord that belongs in that same key, and you're still tapping the notes of the tonic chord, it still matches. So you don't have to chase the chord progression around. That might be a little cumbersome trying to follow it around, and that's the case for most songs. Most songs include chords that belong in the key. Sometimes bands put chords in a song for effect that don't belong in the key, and in those instances, this technique's probably not going to work, because when you hear that odd chord, that really stands out, these notes the notes of your tonic chord aren't going to match so well. So anyway, they may or may not, but the reason that chord stands out is because it doesn't belong in the key. So anyway, I think that should do it. Mess around with that. I think you'll enjoy that if you do a lot of tapping. And if you don't do a lot of tapping, this is a good opportunity to get some good tapping practice in. So anyway, thanks for tuning in for this practice tip. Tune in again tomorrow for another one. And by the way, the other 2 videos are over on the website, www.LiveVideoGuitarLessons.com. And I'll probably do, we're going to talk about tapping some other chords in this series. I'm not sure which ones I'm going to do yet, but I'll probably end up with 5 or 6 covering this tapping technique. So anyway, thanks for tuning in, and I will see you next time.